Alright, hello everybody, and this is BSuDagger bringing you another Brood War Weekly cast. Last week I was sick, and so I'm really going to count this as my first official Brood War Weekly. That was kind of like the alpha and the beta combined, but now we're going to the actual product of this Brood War Weekly, where I kind of separated it up into 3 segments. And the first one was to address either really good foreign replays, or just try and bring about foreign aspects of StarCraft that you guys really may not be aware of. And so I've got a really cool one for you today. I promised it last week. And we're going to be looking at the map Queensbridge. And if you guys don't know what Queensbridge is, it's a map that was created by one of our Team Liquiders, Cardinal All In. And he makes a good amount of maps. I'm assuming it's a he. And so I apologize if you happen to be a woman. So Cardinal All In gave me this replay, and he said, "Here, why don't you show my map?" I said, "Oh, that's cool. That's a great idea. I like Queensbridge. It's a very, very cool map to look at visually, and I think to play on." So let's go ahead and take a look at the map and maybe address it a little bit, try and bring up some of the points before playing. And now let me take this image out here. Okay, so this is Queensbridge that you're looking at right now. And I wanted to just basically do an overall view, kind of gather my thoughts, and say, hey, before I play on this map, what would I try and think about from each view as the 3 different races? So obviously, if you're a Protoss player, let's go with Protoss in the PTZ network here. And so if we're looking at Protoss and we spawn down here at this bottom position, because this is a 2-player map, you can either spawn at the 1 o'clock here at the top right, or you could spawn at the 7 o'clock down at the bottom left, which means that naturally you're going to go to this position here and take your natural. So if this was a PVZ, you typically go for a Forge Expand, and this gap right here is pretty wide to defend with a Forge Expand. But if you do it right and you can get your Forge out here and space out your gateway between the pylon, you are able to get a pretty decent wall. You may need to add an additional cannon just depending on what kind of pressure you have at this natural base. Another good option is to go for 2-gate. I know it's not as popular, so we don't really need to go into how 2-gate could work as much. But if you're going to want to Forge Expand, you have to make sure you put your cannons and your gateway in the right position to block off as much as possible. Otherwise, a really fast pull for Zerg can be pretty much your death sentence here. Now, as I was thinking about what would I do as I got into the later game if I wanted to take a third base, you have really only two options. You could take this third base over at the 9 o'clock, or you could take the base here at the 6 o'clock position. And I thought, okay, the 6 o'clock, hands down, this is what you're going to want to take. And PVT, I was actually in conflict of which one I would take, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think this is just definitely the safest one. It's the smallest surface area to attack from this right position, which is where the Zerg are going to try to come from. If they spawn there, they're going to try and come down this pathway to the right and get up this ramp. But if you make your base right here, there's so much surface area between this area and this area for attack, especially if it's going to be maybe a 6-hatch Hydra. That third base is going to go down so fast, they're not going to be able to defend it well. So definitely in PvZ, I think this is the optimal base you want to take for your third. Now, as far as what are your options to attacking your Zerg opponent if they do spawn at this location, typically they're going to take this natural here and then look for a third base basically across the map where they could put lurkers to go on a good defense. That's definitely possible if they wanted to do a lurker defense at this base down here. But I would assume that a Zerg would try and work their way literally down from the top right here to the bottom right. So if that's the case, you're going to have a lot of opportunities since the distance between this base and this base isn't actually that long, especially if you get speed zealots with that +1. And you could go for a lot of harassment here. But look at this spot right here. This is a good position if you decided to go in for drops for Storm later in the game. But also what I thought was a good mid-game unit, instead of going for Zealot into High Templar, is that Dragoons would be pretty good units in this map because of all this high ground open surface area here. And so while people try and go towards primarily Zealots, double click there, and I really think that Dragoons, because of this high ground, you can control the middle of the map a lot more if you do go for Dragoons. So hello everybody joining in. I can hear you guys chatting in the background. So that was my verse Zerg for Protoss on this map, and I think for verse Terran, it is kind of very similar, where you still obviously want to take your natural here, and I do think that the third is the best. I ended up watching the replay that Cardinal All-In sent me, which is a PVT, and before watching that game, I thought, oh, this would be perfect to take as a Protoss player because tanks can kind of control this area here, and they might try and hit your units at the third base and go for a really hard contain. But little did I know that this ground surface area was way too strong. The tanks moved in there. Vultures had basically free flight to get in here and attack this probe line. So taking this base as your third could be very difficult against a meching Terran. So my suggestion as a Protoss player, take this third here. Also, when you want to go into the late game in PvT, you should probably go for Arbiters instead of Carriers. There's no good positioning for your Carriers to stay away from Goliaths. Their range is going to be too strong. So if you go for Carriers, I think you're rather foolish, or you just want to build Carriers because you think they're pretty cool. So that's my synopsis for PvZ and PvT. I'm going to skip mirror matchups. So as a Zerg player, so let's envision that the Zerg player does spawn at this 1 o'clock position. And what are you going to want to do versus Protoss? Basically, you want to take your natural here again, but what are your options for taking a third base? And I think that these bases here are just definitely designed for taking your third base. And like I said, in most 4-player maps, a Zerg player will try and find the main base of an empty spawn location on the 4-player map and go there. But since this is a 2-player map, there really isn't that kind of structure where you can play defensive across the map. So as a Zerg player, I still think that if you take this, you might be a little bit more defensive because you can guard up this ramp, and so it'll be harder to get your units up. Meanwhile, this location, it's so wide open that not until you get to your mid-game army will you be able to defend it a little bit better as a Zerg player. Now, if your Protoss opponent is obviously going to be spawning at this bottom left location, taking the natural, and maps where you can see this gap behind the mineral line on the natural, that should just make you just be thirsty for lurker drops. If you research drops and you can get your lurkers into here, it's going to wreak havoc upon your opponent. And later on, now that you have drops, while you're distracting your opponent here, you could gather a Hydralisk army, a Hydralisk and Zerg army, put them in your overlords, and just ferry them across to this location. There's so much surface area. This isn't a Terran player where there's just turrets lined up across. Generally, a Protoss player will not have cannons lined up at this ridge here. So I think that this will really favor drops if you wanted to go for that location here. I'm trying to remember what other maps are very similar in design at this location, but that they all basically played out the same way as far as drops really work here. And then as far as going to the later game, I definitely would suggest that Defiler tech is used. Using that Dark Swarm on these large surface areas is going to help you out in just troves as you try and crush your Protoss opponent. And yeah, I'm going to get the Mutaplay because I think Mutaplay is really good in the VT, in the Verse Terran aspect of this game. So of course you're spawned up here at the top right, and I think you should obviously again take your you could take the 5th base here, or take your 3rd base here at the 12 o'clock location. But since you go for lurkers for defense, typically in ZVT, if you take this down here, Terran's going to have a lot of trouble trying to get across this bridge. Even though it's not on the high ground, it's still pretty difficult to try and take this 5 o'clock base. So you kind of have your options here, but I would, as a Zerg player in ZVT, actually take this bottom right location because I like to work linearly and try and take a side of the map. And the problem is, if you get forced to take the 3rd base here, your 4th base, if there's a split horizontally on this map in ZVT, your 4th base is going to be stuck taking over here at the top left. And so that's why you kind of want to push yourself towards the right where you can have all your bases in a closer, more accessible location than having your 4th base be stuck all the way over here to the top left. So if you open up with Mutas can attack really well from this blue space here where the water is behind the natural base. And what you can do later with your Mutas is morph into Guardian play. And Guardian play is something that's been a little bit more common, I feel like, in the foreign scene. So your Guardians could basically just wreck this Terran natural base. And you can even put your Guardians over here and try and push across, or maybe if there is no base here for the Terran player, I feel like the turret line is going to be a little bit stronger, so you might have a lot of trouble trying to go in with Guardians later on. But Mutas can definitely be good at poking in from this side and from up here, but eventually I would say definitely go for Guardians. And you may, depending on how the Terran player plays and they turtle on 2 bases, try and take a fast 4th. See if you can get away with it, because that could really boost your economy. So as a Terran player, Terran I feel like are going to love this map. There's so much space on high ground at these 2 crucial locations here that if you can control that with your tanks, you're going to be in such a great position. So again, if you're a Terran player and you want to take your 3rd base, this is definitely the best location. If you spawn here, this is your best location here at the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock. Because basically you can put your tanks on the high ground and hit anything that's coming from this side or this side pretty easily, as long as you have good vision or you have energy on your comsat stations. So you can kind of control that. And if you're playing against a Zerg player who's on 2 bases, and they took their third way down here at the bottom right, kind of how I was mentioning earlier, where you want to try and push your Zerg opponent upward so they're forced to take this top portion of the map, you can put a tank contain right here on this road, and it's going to be really hard for them to reinforce from their natural and main base to that third base all the way down here. If you have a nice siege contain, you can put some tanks up here and right here and just kind of have a split contain, and then basically the Zerg's going to be in a lot of trouble. So that's kind of the thing you can exploit against Protoss players also, because if your Protoss opponent spawns over here and they decide to take this base, you can hit the front of this base, any buildings that they put here, with scans and siege tanks. But you can also, I'm pretty sure you can put your tanks here and siege up on that on the assimilator if the Protoss player has the gas being mined. So either way, with both races, vulture run-bys are going to be very easy at this map here. You have 2 really wide locations where you can run your vultures in, and mining up this map is going to be really crucial, because even though you can take these high grounds, since there's a lot of surface area to attack on the left and right, if you do not mine up very well, the tanks can die off really quickly. So you want to make sure you can take care of that. And so that's kind of the synopsis for the 3 races here. And let's go ahead and watch a PVT and see what's going on. Let's see. Okay, I am just let me show you this image here while I get everything together. Alright, and now we have a look at our first game that you guys may have ever seen on Queensbridge. And I know that there's actually another map called Kingsbridge. I haven't taken a good look at it yet, so do not be confused. And as we go into this game, just try and point out some notes here. I got some things written down. So this is, it looks like there's 4 players on this map, but no, only Matt and Dano are playing each other. Matt is going to be this Terran player at the top right. Meanwhile, the spawn location for the Protoss player down at the bottom left, which is Dano. And that's going to be kind of a hard name to say fast if I was shoutcasting this game. But fortunately, I am not. But let's go ahead and see how these players open up. We don't need to have everything on slow speed. So right now, staying on 1 base, the Protoss player, you don't really want to go for a fast expand on this map anyway. Generally can't get away with it. And as for the Terran player, as we were looking at that map, I guess I wanted to say that I think in verse Protoss, you definitely want to go for siege expand because of how wide that area here is to defend. And if you only have a bunker in the middle, you can either just run a series of Dragoons and Zealots by, or try and pick it off pretty easily here. So a bunker wouldn't be very good defensively. So when you want to go for that expansion, go for siege expand, which it looks more like the Terran player Matt is going to be going for here anyway. So he has a pretty solid concept of how to play on this map. Both these players are really good. I'm not sure what their rankings are, but after viewing this game, I can tell that their skill level is pretty up there, and you can see that their early game APM is doing pretty good too. So it seems just trying to get that aggravating probe out of the base here. So some decent micro so far. And then, of course, generally, as usual for the Protoss player, going for that range upgrade and using Dragoons because they are one of your most powerful units in this matchup. Finally, the Nexus is going down. And so early on here, it looks like Matt decided to go for some sort of biomech push. And that's a pretty... I think the biomech can pay off, and especially with this wide area here again, it's so much harder to defend because there's not much of a choke. And usually you can defend more on a bridge. If this were fighting Spirit, this double bridge area would be closer to the natural location. But it's so far out that the opponent, the Terran opponent, actually has time to get their units across it and attack on the natural base. So we all know that's going to come along, so let's speed up to that attack here. And it looks like it's time for the Terran opponent to move out. So we're going to see a little bit of a showcase here where a superior army versus really good micro is about to go down. This is like a Flash versus Bisu style matchup here, where Flash has the superior army and then Dragoons kick ass. So it doesn't look like the odds are in the Protoss player's favor. A decent amount of Dragoons here. But the Spider Mines are out, and if they get off some good hits, he could die pretty quickly here. Tanks are ever so strong, even without siege mode here. And it looks like he got another tank picked off, but the Dragoon's down to 3 now. And he's going to have to go for some sick mine micro here to try and survive this. Nice pick off on that mine right there. So I think that a Vulture actually got in here. Being unmicroed though. Meanwhile, at the front, the action that has gone down. Bringing an SCV here. He's trying to hug a Marine apparently. And finally a bunker set up at the front. So this is Flash because we know that bunkers like to be put right next to that natural nexus. Unfortunately, the observers are out for a Protoss player. Otherwise, these mines would just be infinitely more troublesome. And with that range upgrade, he will end up pushing out this army. So really good job to kind of keep us calm and fight his way out of this kind of bad predicament here. So Dano is a D-ranked player, but hey, he's doing pretty good for D-rank. And look at this. I like what he does is he gets his Dragoons on the outside to maybe pick off anything reinforcing on the right to prevent flanking. And he outranges this bunker, which he will be able to pick off, killing off the SCVs first. And it looks like the Nexus will survive. Oh, and unfortunately that observer just suicided into the turret before it got taken out. And this is called the 1 siege tank 2 mine contain here. Let's see how long that actually stays worthy of defending. Oh, D-ranked Korean. But everything kind of calms down. But that will give us the opportunity here to see that the command center mining with the refinery here. An additional command center going to the 3rd. And like I said earlier, this is where you want to take the 3rd as a Terran player. And it's a really easy to defend 3rd because you got the high ground and a couple siege tanks can defend both sides. But since you're going to have a lot of defense here anyway, you're not going to have to worry about attacks from the right side too much. But after picking off this mine, an unfortunate death of 2 Dragoons to do that, he will go ahead and build his Nexus at that 3rd location too, at the bottom right. So now let's zoom forward here, because it's going to be quite some time before we're going to see some more attacks. Hello, Fear the Queen. Fear the Queen submitted one of the Nuke replays we will be watching later. If you guys don't know, today's theme is Dr. Nuke. And that's where you try and do Dr. Seuss stuff while launching nukes. And it will be great. So it looks like the 3rd command center is about to come down here. And I know that we're not going to see another action until the 14-minute mark. So let's push on. You can see that the 4th base is trying to be taken here. And as I mentioned earlier, you're going to have a hard time as a Protoss player defending against these Vulture run-bys. And we are zooming forward one more time here. little bit of a Dragoon battle in the middle. But it looks like our Terran player is going to be maxing out very soon off these 3 bases. And now the death march should begin very shortly here from the Terran player. And we'll see just how powerful Mech is. Just slightly behind his micro here on the 2 probes. But he does have the 4th, even though this 4th has been up for, I guess, a minute or 2. There's not too much mining going on. He opted not to take that simulator just yet. Now he does. And, a little just skirmish of Dragoons. I don't think they're going to do too much damage here. But look at all this mech in the middle. Just hanging out. Vultures are so cruel. They think just because they're on the controllers are on bicycles that they're better than everybody else. I guess they call them motorbikes. And now Dano, he's going to try and just go for a mine-sweeping opportunity here, but I thought the mech did move out very shortly. You can see that there's mines kind of covering the right side of the map. The more mines you lay out, separated up, the more you have vision on the map. So when you have this many vultures, you really don't need to just keep them chilling inside of your base. You know, go out there and be a little bit bold and gain more vision. Quadruple kill on those Dragoons. Pretty ridiculous. Alright, let's push forward. And don't you wish the game was played at this speed? How hilarious would that be? So that was really cool. What the Terran player just did there is to prevent the flanking, just laid down a whole bunch of spider mines. Meanwhile, pushing over to the left, he's going to have this huge surface area to attack that 4th base. You know, Protoss is going to realize Ditto, he has no chance of getting up there on the high ground. This is what people were really concerned about on Queensbridge, is just that pure dominance with tanks meching on top of the ridge here. With the aid of the science vessels, that's going to be pretty difficult to deal with here. And it looks like Arbiter play. That was an amazing recall here. Meanwhile, it looks like the 4th is definitely going to go down for the Protoss player. So let's go look at the action here. The command center is getting lifted up at the same time. So both players trying to take out their additional base. Terran now down to 2 bases. Protoss down to 3. And at this point, with this many units, this could be really scary for Protoss to deal with. But Dano, he's got something up his sleeves, and I like to call them Arbiters here. And so some sick Arbiter play is about to come out. 2 beautiful stasis fields coming down. And I feel like Dano loses way more army than he should to just a few more tanks that are left. Look at those clump zealots. It's like force fields in StarCraft 2 when they backfire against you. That's kind of what happens here. Unable to get his Dragoons in. Look how many units are getting hit by just that 1 tank. 6 kills. And it lived its purpose pretty well here. These tanks are not in siege mode, which is unfortunate for the Terran player because it cannot just lay down one giant volley before they all die. But there still is no base here. The command center is getting ready to finish off. But you see what I said. Only 2 siege tanks. They'll die off pretty easily here. And there's no, there was no scan either, so I wasn't able to see anything under the Arbiter cloaking. Something cool we're going to see later, guys, are ghosts. And if you did not know, you can use lockdown on an Arbiter, and an Arbiter will no longer cloak the units below it while in lockdown. So something you could utilize ghosts for. I'm trying to, after this episode, I'm going to push really hard for people to start using ghosts a little bit more because there's some really good utility to them. Imagine instead of having to use EMP, you just lock down Arbiters. How sick would that be? I think that's the way to go here. And unfortunately, lessons aren't learned. And another recall before the Arbiter dies. These are the most I've ever seen. Not many units inside with this recall, though. It will be enough to do some damage. Some units gathering inside the middle here. Meanwhile, the 4th is going to be taken back up again. So really well done by Dano. And then the main is mined out. You would think that Terran's in kind of a bad position here, but with the 2 bases here, even though the naturals are going to be mined out, this is the power of Terran. They can't lose, can they? And this is going to get low econ for Protoss too. Really, unless he can hold this 4th base, there's not going to be much mining for him, because that main and natural are out. So now we're going to speed up again, because I know that it gets a little bit lackluster, as we try and figure out the conclusion to this game and go into our Fun Day Monday on Tuesday portion. Unless you guys have a better name, that's what we're sticking with. This brave little observer going out. This probe trying to sell its soul for a Nexus. Something that I was thinking about as a Protoss player the other day is how sad is it when a pylon gets destroyed while you're getting warped in, if you're like a zealot, and you just have to sit there like in between like the ether world because you can't get finished warping in, but you're not allowed to go home unless they decide to cancel your warp in. Puts you in quite a predicament. So warping in isn't the best thing to do during the middle of the battle. But to know he's got an opportunity here with a nice little stasis to bring these units in, but the background tanks, they're going to do some damage. 2 nice storms, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to kill them off quite yet. These zealots will definitely clean up the rest here. And that's going to be really one of the last attacks until the 24-minute mark here. Just using lots of bolters to pick off probes. Look at these guys. Just sitting there, kind of humping the ground. It's a little inappropriate. So Terra now taking this additional base down here. That's no problem. Obviously they win mech. They got the tanks available. And Matt does a really good job of macroing up in this game. Even though he's made some pretty poor engagements, and, well, I think that Dano's made some pretty great engagements against this meching army here. It really hasn't panned out too crazy for him. And it's mainly vultures. A crazy amount of vultures. And 5 siege tanks but 26 vultures are going to just try and peel their way against this army. And this is a Protoss opportunity here to try and win the game. Oh, I hope that there's a storm on top of these SCVs. How sick would that be, guys? Come on, let's see the conclusion to this. Storm! Storm! It doesn't happen yet. Meanwhile, that 4th base has been taken out again. That Nexus is down. The mech is moving in. There's not much army to defend here. Could this go into a base trade scenario? I think between these 2 armies here, this is the final clash. One of them will die and will not be able to macro up. There is not much in the way for Dano as far as minerals go. Decent bait for the Terran player here. And the last slaughter here. Whoa. Whoa, cleaning it up. Cleaning it up. But still 118 supply to the 102 of the Protoss player. When we're going to zoom it forward to the death. It's kind of hard to observe when it's going this fast. I find it amusing. If you really want to be a pro observer, you got to watch it at this speed. I will list it on TL after this game. I do not care. Bam. Cleaning it up. Oh, poor Protoss. Didn't you feel like Dano maybe was going to carve his way back into this game? But he does tap out. GG. So that's a game on Cardinal all in. Guys, how cool was that? That was a great PvT. Late game PvT. So if you guys haven't played on that map, I suggest trying to bring it into the map pool a little bit more with your foreign players. And just take that and have a joy with some StarCraft games there. So that's Cardinal All-Ins, Queen's Bridge. And I'm going to go fix my stream to satisfy the viewers out there. And I guess not starting soon, I've already started. So let me fix it, and then we will jump into the next replay. Alright, it looks like the stream is back online, guys, so let's get right into it, right? Why should we stall? This is the greatest show on earth. You're listening to BC Dagger in the Brood War Weekly here. And the first we're going to have today, thank you to the submissions of everybody, and especially the Spaniard, who submits the Fun Day Monday and Tuesday replays the quickest. So therefore, he has earned the first game and the first spot here. So let's get into this. And we're not going to watch these replays in full, but I will show you the best of the replays here. So, let me tell you guys something here. It takes about 8 to 9 minutes to get a nuke. 8 to 9 minutes. So that's pretty much where we need to start here in this game. So let's go forward here and put this on time 16. And while that's going forward, let me tell you guys a little bit about the Ghost. Are you guys not familiar with how a Ghost works? Probably some of you have never used a Ghost in a real game because you don't have the balls to use a Ghost in a real game. So, yes, this is a Fun Day Monday on Tuesday. Welcome. Enjoy this. And so the Ghost, guys, it is considered a small ground unit, and it takes 50 seconds to be built. That's right, 50 seconds. But you guys know what? A Marine takes 24 seconds to be built. So you could build 2 Marines plus 1 second of starting a new Marine in the time that you could build a Ghost. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Their health is just a measly 45 health. You know, the SEV is probably the strongest bio unit there is, having a total of 60 health. Ain't that baller? So without the upgrades, you start with 50 energy. And with the upgrade, you get up to 62 energy. Yes, there is an upgrade. And if you do not know, this is called the Mobius Reactor Upgrade. How cool is that? Reactors are great. So then you have 3 other upgrades. Personal Cloaking. Well, that's not an upgrade. You get that by default. Then you have the Lockdown ability. And then you have Ocular Implants, which allows the Ghost to see far enough to not nuke itself. So, people being world famous by talking in here in the chat. And this is a TBT with nuking. How great is that? So let's zoom a little bit forward here, and I'll tell you more about the Ghost later, trust me. As I was saying in the last game here, Ghosts can lock down Arbiters, and Arbiters are no longer able to cloak. But if you lock down, let's say, a Science Vessel, the Science Vessel can no longer use detection. So that's kind of really cool. Look at this bunker on the front here. So you can maybe see by the APM difference here that Nicky Jam is, and a really cool name, Nicky Jam. He's got the greatest jams of all. It has 324 APM versus Beetle Tibber. And Beetle Tibber's got a total of 68 APM. So, you know, unfortunately, the Spaniard managed to find someone who has a F ranking on IC Cup. Probably still a better Terran player than I am, but we don't need to go into logistics here. And now, like I said, you got to get to the 9-minute mark before nukes can come. Doing the great cloaking research here. And things are just improving very quickly. The nuke is on its way to be built, but you don't want the nuke until you get your full upgrades for the Ghost player. So Lockdown is getting researched. Very useful for nukes, apparently. And still, there is 3 barracks being built here, and 2 Ghosts at a time. That's pretty bold. Nicky Jam, that's very bold here. And now we finally do have Ghosts at the 10.5-minute mark. Like I said, you can get it at 9 minutes, but that's not how he rolls. And gonna eventually jump inside of this dropship. Now, unfortunately, Nicky Jam doesn't follow the complete rules and does not do a Dr. Seuss fairy tale for us. But I don't think anybody followed the rules very strictly. Of course, everybody's excited to see Largo, who submitted a replay, and he just continues to spam the most ridiculous crap you'll ever hear. And we will jump into that. No, but cool. You have to be cool in order to do what he says. And just checking to make sure the Ghosts are able to unload from that dropship. Cloaking them up, and we're going to see our first nuke of the day. Where is the optimal position?
Nuclear launch detected.
Uh-oh. The double nuke starting off. And here they come. Trying to figure out if he can get into siege mode and kill off that Ghost here, but eventually it is going to run away. Down to 8 SCVs. All that work for the first 12 minutes of the game. And unfortunately, it looks like our Terran opponent here only has a total of 8 SCVs to 63 SCVs. An additional nuclear silo at the 2 right bases here. Having one built down at the 6 o'clock also. And I'm going to fast forward, and we're going to watch right here as the conclusion of this game becomes very epic. Now, what does Nicky Jam have planned up his sleeve? Because obviously when his opponent only has... Oh, there was one more nuke. I thought that was the last nuke of the game. But he got a really good one off here on the front. Trust me, that's not what we're waiting for here. We saw the nukes that we cared about for this game. And the Terran opponent, Beetle Tibber, decides he will take a additional base here. And here it comes. The epic conclusion to our first game. Ghosts. So if you guys didn't realize, we have massive amounts of Ghosts being produced, and for some reason medics, because those seem to be popular and important at the same time here. Look at this amount of Ghosts. When was the last time you saw Ghosts this many in a competitive game? I don't think you have. You guys don't have the balls to build that many Ghosts. This is me calling you guys out, and maybe you'll be bold to show me how well you can play in your games next week when I provide you with the next Fun Day Monday on Tuesday. You could do this to a computer, but it's so much more fun to do this to an F-ranked player. Oh, look at this epic conclusion. I think this is what I really like. I asked for nukes, but we're going to get lockdowns. This scan. But that huge range, especially with that scouting science vessel here. And then I think this is going to conclude with a nice nuke, and we'll get into a little bit more of the epic nuke games here. Trust me, there's some good ones on the way.
Nuclear launch detected. Nuclear launch detected.
And here we go. This is the spot that you guys were looking for. And Beetle Timber GG's. Wow, that is a guy with some good moral fiber. So Beetle Timber ends the game with 65 APM to the 260 of Nicky Jam. It looks like his slipped a little bit here. And that's the end of game number 1 here of the Fun Day Mondays on Tuesday. The more interesting ones will come. Trust me, they're there. In fact, there's another really good one from the Spaniard. So just hang out, and I will get the next one loaded. Our next game is going to consist of a TVZ provided by Fear the Queen on Team Liquid. And we are almost ready to go here. Alright, fellas. On the map, Blue Storm. You guys might be familiar with it if you watched my every 2007 OSL back in the day. And this is probably one of those games where you're going to want to read a lot of the text, but you can throw yours out there too. It just it gets very amusing here. Staying on one base. This is going to be a one base nuke play. That's what I love about this one in particular. Art of Yurtle is the guy we are cheering for here. Against, I guess you would say Quoog is the Zerg player. Quoog is the enemy here. Remember that. Do not cheer for the Zerg player here. He's not someone you want to be on the side of. Trust me, he's evil. But how do you pronounce that face? Is that like a just that's not like an unimpressed face. That's just like an aware face. Is that what that looks like up there? But Fear the Queen in the chat, and trust me, he's got some good comments. So this hold right here is just going to be straight up Marines while this natural base is finally underway. And the Zerg opponent is going to open up mutas. So that's going to be fun. We're seeing Zerg pressure here, but that's nothing. Look at this Marine force. I just love the fact that Art of Yurtle does not need medics at all with his Marine army. I mean, they are pretty overrated here. And saving that gas for the construction of these heavy gas buildings that he's going to require to get the nuke out. But those mutas are going to be underway very shortly here. Let's speed up until that spire is done. And then we can see as the drama does unfold. Okay, so here's the push out. 2 medics combined with this army here. Do some decent amount of Marines. You'd think that this little militia could do some damage. But unfortunately, these mutas are making their warpath. This is just like this is like any game on Blue Storm with July Zerg. You know those mutas were going to get some heavy damage done. But unfortunately, they're not going to be here to defend. It's going to rely upon these sunken colonies here. So who's going to get the most damage out of this? Meanwhile, the nuclear silo is not done. He's going to have to move this science facility. He put that in the wrong position here. Probably regretted that later. And that's a lot of mutas being brought into the fold here. But I think maybe he realized that the force is out here. And now the stim coming in. Oh, look at that damage. It's just too much. Alright, Yurtle, he's going to win the game without the nukes. Oh, snap. That micro. This must be his main race. It's got to be. You can tell this is an experienced Zerg opponent. Alright. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. That covert ops is done, which means you can build the ghost. And this is where the things are going to pick up this opportunity here. But will he defend against these mutas? Using the defense of these turrets, he is able to hang in there a little bit longer. Unfortunately, that barracks is not going to finish. And these Marines are going to push out here and try and stem attack against the mutas. There's no medics. Well, I guess there's one in here doing its slow rebuilding of their health. And the Kakaroos just flocking across the screen. I guess they wanted to fly with the mutas. That's kind of a cute little thing going on there. But most importantly, the nuclear silo is done. And once he gets a ridiculous amount of gas and minerals, he'll be able to build a nuke. If you guys aren't familiar, let me tell you exactly how much a nuke costs. Actually, I'm not sure how much a nuke costs. I don't have that printed out or written down or anything. But it's expensive. That's why people don't do it too much. Mini Kakaroo. So that nuke, we're going to speed up until the nuke does finish up here. And now we have to find that ghost. There's one ghost finished being built. Where is it? And so the smack talk begins. This is the hero, guys. We are going to be watching the ghost. Oh, 200, 200. Thank you. Just had a little memory lapse. Don't know why I should come so unprepared, right, guys? But this is all for fun. Which is why we're having Dr. Nuke night. And the guy who is bitching about Lucky irradiates, meaning that he failed to get his mutas out of the way of those science vessels, or snipe them up with Scourge, is now going for...
Launch detected.
Okay. Nuclear launch detected, but oh crap. These Guardians gonna try and lay waste before the nuke can go down. Unfortunately, he doesn't have detection. Let's see how many of these drones will die. How stupid is that range? So if you guys don't know, a nuke does 500 damage or 3/4 damage to a unit, whichever does the most damage. So that's pretty ridiculous. And now both of these players saying that they're off race. So Quoosh saying that he can rape you with his main race. Alright guys, settle down. Settle down, it was just a nuke. Feelings shouldn't be hurt. But that's the kind of rage you can expect from mind gaming your opponent by building a nuclear silo so quick. And the Guardians are making their way across. You guys are just so wise. And now the Guardians putting themselves in position here to make it really hard for the Marines to attack. Both these players are A-, clearly, if you guys didn't realize that. With their off race, with their main race, there might be normal ranks. But that's what's going on here. Kruge clearly is a S-class Zerg player. The more you trash talk, the higher your ranking. And the switch to the wraiths just underway too. So somehow he's managing to go for a massive amount of wraiths along with his nuke play. Why isn't a nuke being constructed here? I'm very disappointed. I think that might be the last nuke we see in this game here. But it's a good example of some great trash talk. So let's go forward and see how this epic game does conclude here. So both these players are D ranked, but that's still good. That makes it look pretty evenly matched between the two players. And here comes the huge Guardian push again. Clearly he thinks that Guardians are going to win, but I think there's a good amount of race on the map here that can win this, especially with Cloak. Things will get taken out pretty quickly here. And here comes the funeral. Oh. Did you even replay the guy? You guys will find out soon enough if Art of Yurtle accepts the regame against Quoog here. Good job, you're pro, Art of Yurtle. Take real map, please. Not this shit from 20 years ago. Art of Yurtle using his great school knowledge to count years. This is not a 20-year-old map because Brood War is not 20 years old. Now this is where Art of Yurtle shows how classy he is. He can out talk his opponent by dodging effectively here. This is how you dodge. Oh man, this is why you guys need to 1v1 more. And that's going to be the end of our our game. Quoog says, "You seriously dodge after talking shit? What the fuck?" Where Art of Yurtle replies, "Pew pew." And that is the end of game number 2 here. Alright. Game number 3 is going to go back to the Spaniard with one of his replays, and he pulls something off that was so cool against his opponent here, and I think they were a more even opponent here. But Spaniard's got some pretty good. He's got some pretty good TVP, so this will be pretty good. You guys will enjoy this. And so now we're going back to the Spaniard. This game is going to be against Kusakov. Alright, let's get to the exact portion that we want to be at here. Welcome everybody to the Brood War Weekly. Whatever segment you want to enjoy the most. I talked about Queensbridge and the foreign map that we watched earlier. In this cast, if you missed it, it will be available for viewing later. It was pretty interesting, I thought. I had a good talk about it, and I hope to learn more from you guys at the same time here. You cannot see the game, that's on purpose. I'm just fast forwarding to where we need to be at this portion of the game. So just enjoy the background. And then if we have time after the next few replays that I'm going to be going through, we could throw out some games. I know you guys can't see shit, but there's no point. You don't need to see it yet. Okay. Calm down. I gave you vision. So now here is the time to watch. As we go forward here, we're going to point out that the nuke was being constructed here. The starport being done means that dropships are available to you. And I think that's what is going to be so brilliant about this this game here. So the Protoss player, let me catch you up, has taken his natural base and is working towards the third base down here. And what's this? A Stargate at third base. Meanwhile, 2 nuclear silos are built. 2 nuclear missiles are finished up too, but the Ghost is not done yet. We've got some time before the Ghost is going to go down. And this is where it's going to get exciting. Now that we have the Ghost constructed, we're about 2 minutes away. Someone's saying, watch his nuke. Sure, go to that stream if you want. I don't care. So, you would think, looking at this defense here, this is way too epic of a defense for anybody to be able to get a Ghost in here to do nukes. Those are not Ghosts right there. Those are just spider mines. And defense on the bridge is going to make that third really hard to get to. And this is really good defense here. Look at all these photon cannons in the right place. So that's not going to go down either. Still only 1 Ghost constructed here. But there's a science vessel around. There's a drop ship. I think that can equal a recipe for great success here. And now it looks like there's some drama in the chat. Thank you guys for queuing up the drama, because that's the reason why you should be here, is to yell at each other instead of enjoying some beautiful StarCraft game. Once we see that dropship move, I promise you the Ghost will come. Alright. No, this is better than Boxer's old game from long ago. This is the best, basically, nuke drop I've ever seen. So the really cool job from Nicky Jam here. And how is he going to outschool his Protoss opponent? You can't really get past these cannons here. It seems like an insurmountable task here. And now with the reinforcement of Dragoons also, oh snap, this is going to be way too hard. The Zealots are ready too. Kusakov, the Russian, maybe Ukrainian. Ukrainians are Russian, I guess, these days. They know how to defense it. And this dropship is going to have to get in there somehow. So D-Matrix, leading with the science vessel, soaks up a few shots, now is moving out with the dropship here, brings the science vessel into for additional defense, immediately heals and cloaks the Dragoon, or not the Dragoon, the Ghost. And the nuke does finally get launched. Oh, that was a sick combination of medic, D-Matrix, drop play. The probes do get pulled, but not before this nuke does fall down. And this probe, fortunately, was sitting inside that assimilator, was able to save itself. So, how many of you guys can put money that this will happen twice? That our player Nicky Jam here will be able to pull this off twice. So let's fast forward here and see if that can happen again. Oh, lots of action in the background. Okay, we're almost there. Let's see.
Nuclear launch detected.
Oh! Look at that! He made it in there again. Okay, I wrote the time down wrong, but apparently he did make it in here again. Is that Ghost going to be too close, though? He does micro it away, and the probe count is now 25. But, oh, guys, while you were watching that timer and things were speeding up, something mysterious happened at the third base. Carriers! Nicky Jam! What are you going to do when there's all these carriers inside of your game? But no, that's not a nuke that's going down to these carriers. Staying strong here, continuing to nuke these defenseless buildings. He does decide to drop down one more nuke and eventually take out the cybernetics core and the forge. Anything under 500 health will die. Look at that drop. Takes a 14 seconds to summon a nuke. And the carriers are on the move.
Nuclear launch detected.
But he continues to not move his ghost over and nuke the carriers, which would be great so far. And now he's going to take out this, I think this gateway should survive. What do you guys think? Survive, die, survive? Brings it down to 30 health. That's a pretty good chunk of health to be taken out. But where are them carriers? 9 carriers on the map. He must have... He has Corsairs coming too. I wonder why he would have Corsairs, unless he researched defensive web. That's definitely a possibility here. That sacrificial Corsair! That sacrifice! And now the carriers are unleashed. This would be fodder. All I'm thinking is, Nicky Jam, where's the nuke? Right here. These guys ain't doing shit. Carriers are really slow, but there's a force coming out. Could there be a ghost in the mix? He has 3 ghosts. He has nukes on the way. Tanks can't attack high. Don't bring them in there. That's not necessary. I guess they're there to soak up some random damage while the glass try getting here. This micro, though. Oh, this micro makes me sad. Right there. Oh, that carrier does get taken out. A little part of me died. Not the important part of me, though, so don't worry. And now Interceptor's on crack. Where? Where? One more? Where's the ghost? Where's the ghost, guys? Is it on there? No. No. The only ghost I see, it's got to be around here. There we go. We found the dot. We identified it. It is on 2 useless gateways. That's all she wrote for that cannon. The blue fire has ignited. Oh, wow. He's microing the Interceptor. That's... Whoa. That would be some ridiculous micro. Only Stork could do that. But this carrier is moving in, and the Goliath force is still there. Again! Where's the nuke? Where's the nuke? We found the ghost. Ah, there's the dot. We've identified the dot. Sitting at 24 probes. Let's see that get quickly erased. So, not one ghost killed. Maybe the one at the beginning was killed, I guess. So now he's at 15 probes. That was a good probe killing. The massacre with those nukes. Not quite Hiroshima level, but it was close. Building these additional command centers for scans and nukes. That's pretty effective here too. And okay, so he did get D-Web, but it's not doing that great. Again? Again? So another nuke is going to go down. What do you guys think? Dead Nexus? Not dead Nexus. Right here. Is it dead? Blammo! Triple kill on those buildings. That ghost will go home a hero. Actually, let's see. That ghost only has 3 kills. That's quite unfortunate. But these carriers, are they too strong? Is Nicky Jam going to hold on across all this massive nuke micro? Is he going to be able to hold on here? The economy, it's in shambles. He only has 18 minerals here. Trying to mine here up to a total of 66. The APM is 264 to 77. You should know that. Oh, nuclear launch detected one more time. I feel like this is going to be another useless nuke. Where is it? I think I might be off on this one. Guys, where is it? Okay, I found it. Kind of hard to keep track. Nicky Jam did pretty good here. Right in the middle here, though. Oh, it'd be so awesome if some carriers came out. But it looks like they're not going to finish up in time. Alright, now my nuke micro is going to have to be really quick on the next one, because I want to see where it's going to come up from next. Carriers are almost completely dead here. You guys, I'm colorblind, so it's even harder to find the nuclear laser targeting, unfortunately. Look at that bold Corsair. What a useless D-web. The Carriers are pulling back for the epic defense here. Tanks are moving in. He's actually using ground forces to do some damage here. Oh, here we go. The Ghost. Again. There is no nuke quite yet. The game is almost over. Yes, it is. Let's see. This nuke is about to finish. Let's try and watch this nuke, though. Oh, GG. Before one more nuke can come out. So, great game there from Nicky Jam. Thank you for providing that. The Carriers made everything more epic, of course. So, that is game number 3. Alright, guys. We got one more. And I was told specifically that I would probably get killed if I didn't play this last replay. Although I feel like it's just one giant advertisement. But trust me, we're gonna watch it anyway. But hold on one second, everybody. Hold on to your horses here. Let's go to the end of this thread. Let's see. I quote... Gecko says, if you don't cast the logger replay, I'm going to be super angry and there will be consequences. I swear. And then he made up a nice little riddle, even though you guys forgot to do the Dr. Seuss nuke thing. A person's a person no matter how small. And you're about to be nuked. No person at all. So that's getting into the spirit. So Largo, he's from Russia. And he started playing in 2004. And so we're going to watch this 2004 tear it up. Let me get this loaded in here. While you guys get up to your shenanigans. If you have someone near you right now, while you're watching this at your computer, slap them in the face. Do it. I dare you. I'll give you an esports dollar. Dr. Nuke. Largo. He named this replay Nuke Time. And let's see. So the exciting part happens at 8 minutes here, but you guys get all like angry if I don't show you the stream while we're watching this. So how are you, brother? Stimatic says, and Chev AC does not say anything in reply. Now Stimatic is Largo. Just so you guys got it straight. He is a Zerg player here. Stimatic says, you know what? Shivak says, no. He doesn't know. Dr. Seuss says, it's dangerous to die to a nuke. Seems like the spirit is on its way. But we're not the cowards, right? And we gonna try. Okay. You know what, says Thematic? Question mark. You'd better not read this. Who cares what Dr. Seuss says? As the Zerg expands. The only good thing is yourletters.org is awesome. Okay, apparently something called yourletters.org is great. Thank you, Largo, for sending this to me 2 hours ago, just so you could get yourletters.org spammed on stream. You should. You know why? It's just awesome. And the APM is actually higher and more of the favor of the Zerg player here. So these guys must be pretty even. Meanwhile, random Icy Cup noob dies to a nuke. And Russia Bears says to Dr. Seuss, what to tell, right? Okay, Largo, you gotta submit a replay every week. Now, this is hilarious. You know what? Don't touch my SCV, please. Did his SCV get killed? Oh, there it is. Oh, it looks like it's going to make it away. So we are 4 minutes away from the nuke. And he continually brings up yourletters.org. So maybe you guys are thinking, what is yourletters.org? Is this really real? Is he some sort of Brood War spam bot for websites? I think those should exist. Why don't they? So, let's go to the monitor capture. Here we go. Yourletters.org. Play a test game and learn how to play here. Looks like there's some pretty good competitiveness here. Look at that in the chat. Sale. He's a Team Liquider. So apparently this must be popular. If you guys don't know about it, then I guess you're not in. I know it's not cool to be in. Or is it cool to be in? I don't know these days. Okay. Oh, yeah. Crap. Here. So I guess we figured out why Gecko really wanted us to watch this replay. Because he gets a shout out, and that probably brings him a little bit more self-importance. But Gecko does provide a lot of cool stuff in the Brood War scene. And he plays on the letters.org website too. And it looks like the Zerg player here is building quite a bit of Hydras. So what the hell? Oh no! Stim Addict, he doesn't have any units. Is he gonna lose this? How dare he attack? How dare Shavak attack the great Stim Addict? And now he tries to break the ramp here. Laughing at the Zerg player. Lies. I have the broken race. You must back up. And now the insect race is in retreat. Meanwhile, the nuke, it's almost done. Soon Stim Addict will have this won. Wow. Yourletters.org. I think we should play a game where at this point everybody takes a shot when they see him advertise yourletters.org. So the ghost is up and about. Maybe I could have just done my whole entire cast in Dr. Seuss rhymes. I probably could have done that. I'm pretty decent at rhyming. I'm no Lil Wayne when it comes to rhyming, but I've got it. I can do an iambic pentameter. Counting to 10 has been one of the more easier things for me in my lifetime. This ghost is just, you know, lagging behind here. He's got that swagger pose. He's about to move in and trying to get across this bridge. Here comes the fun engagement here as we conclude the last game of our Dr. Nuke. We couldn't have a more obnoxious chat spammer than Stim Addict, and I love it. Thank you. So the cloak here, there's no overlords, and the overlords might not be close enough here. Do they have that speed upgrade? Oh, how many drones are going to die right here? But the engagement, they move out. What are they hoping for? All these drones, they're going to die. Oh, but the overlords, they're almost there. Oh. And it looks like they're taken out. A sad day for the Zerg. It does have an additional base here. Look at the nice square that's in the middle of this map. You don't want to be nuked. Visit us. And it looks like that's going to conclude this game here. Yourletters.org. How to not be nuked. And that's the end of the game. GG. Thank you, Largo, for submitting that replay. That added great joy to my heart. So, guys, I'm going to be putting on the next Fun Day Monday on Tuesday when I'm done with this cast. You guys need to get with the program and submit your replays. I prefer when replays are sent before the day of the cast, so I actually have time to look at them and prepare. Otherwise, it's a little bit harder to prepare for the show. I'm gonna have some new new replays next week. I have a foreigner replay that was played at the end of last month, so that would be March 30th, and it's True Touch versus a Korean player, and according to True Touch, was a pretty damn good game. So, and I think he's a retired pro or semi-pro. I can't quite remember. But if you guys want to come back next week, you will be able to watch that. Now, I have this third segment of my show that I'm trying to figure out how to do. And it's supposed to be like a community thing where we all go play Brood War. And, I don't know. Let's figure out how to do that. I'm not very organized for this, but let's go. Anybody who wants to play, maybe you can get an Icy Cup right now. And we'll go into the Brood War Weekly room here. Let me show you guys everything that's going on. Maybe you can just follow my stream here. Okay. Oh yeah. If I show you the image here, it's going to glitch out. So I'm just going to be the observer here, and if you guys want to play some Hunters, Hunters map, let's play 4v4 right now. Get it on stream, and I'm going to add some cast to it. This could be a lot of fun here. So I on Icy Cup am going to go to BW Weekly for Brood War Weekly. Don't go to yourletters.org. Let's play some StarCraft. And I don't know if you guys join on quick enough, we could get this going. Let me add some music in the background. Take a quick little breather here, because I've just been casting for an hour and a half straight. And I'm going to get some water as I wait for everybody, and we will do some community games.
in at a Groove Shark broadcast to listen to Rhythm Radio. We hope you're getting all your work done.
Alright guys, the map is about to be up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did you make the wrong game type stardom? That is possible.
There isn't any real. Are you kidding me?
With the wideband circuit for a fully connected network. Break it down into thousands of packets and faster and more reliable,
Alright guys, join Brood War.
such as this.
And the password is weekly for the map, for the password here. Thought I was at the bottom. I gotta move my dude back again. Here we go. Such lag. Wonder if there's a way to mute that sound. Damn MCA launcher. I should have turned off notification sounds. I wonder if that works actively here. I just clicked it. Well, we've got 3 people here. Keep flooded in. This is great. Two more. Yeah, come on, guys. You can do it. And if this is, for some reason, not an OBS map, either you can all ally me, and then I can get vision of everybody, or I'll just play terrible. Some terrible StarCraft. Two more people and we will be good to go. That, or we could have a 3v3. It don't matter. 2v2. We want to do 2v2. Oh, I like that. Tupac dropping it down with some great knowledge here. We will do that one next. Let's see. Oh, what did I click here? It didn't let me download. Tupac, it says the link for that map is not valid. The link is broken. Okay. Stardom, go ahead and hit go. Let's do this. We will get that map next. Sweet. I will download that one too. I wonder if this one is a better one. That one downloaded, the one that you gave. Oh, hello, Sporex. Welcome. And we're waiting for Stardom because it looks like he fell asleep. Alright guys, here we go into Community StarCraft Brood War. Welcome. Let's have some fun here. Wait, what the hell just happened? Oh, we got that wrong. Alright, this is why this is the trial run, guys. We will figure it out. Make it, Stardom. Hurry up. Don't you guys hate that sound when you're trying to get into a game and it doesn't work? All right. Oh, thank you, Mr. Asian Ronald 2. I love what I'm doing too because it is StarCraft. Alright, here we go. We've got some community stuff here. Everyone ally me and I will float around. There we go. Welcome to the Brood War Weekly. This is some community StarCraft. We're trying to get it off the ground here. Eventually it will happen. Yes, let's go. Sorry, Chrisium. Next time. All right. Whoa, I can't ally anybody. What's up with that? Apparently, we're not figuring this out, guys. I need to get a game in before 8 o'clock. Ah, this is my fault. I was not prepared for this last segment. I just thought Brood War was easy. If this doesn't work one more time, I'm just gonna play. Oh wait, from the link? Is your link working now? Oh, cool, it just sent it to me. Well, we got people in here. We'll do the free-for-all to start, because that could be hilarious. Do secret alliances and whatnot. Okay, people join up if you want to come in. Alright, do it! Once Chrysium is ready to go. Oh. Is it not working again? Oh, I'm sorry, Chrysium. Micro. Oh, he's in the bathroom. Okay, I see. All right. I'm creating the alliances, sharing the vision, and I will take victory with whoever wins.
Report for duty. Orders, Captain. Orders received. Affirmative. Orders, Captain. Orders received. Affirmative.
Okay, so what do we got here going on? One of our Terran players to the top left. The MCA launcher doesn't tell me the names of people, I guess because I'm not in an observer mode here. Oh, look at that. A supply depot out at the front. Looks like our Terran player at the top here, being quite bold.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Orders received. Right away, sir.
So Stardom is at the 10 o'clock position here.
Under attack.
Oh, my poor SUV.
For duty. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Look at this barracks placement out at the front here, guys. Okay, so we are in this. It looks like Stardom being the only honest person here, telling us that he is at this this position here at the 10 o'clock.
Orders, Captain.
I'm still wondering who the 11 o'clock position is going to be here. So now we have Flying Jelly at the 5 o'clock position. I gotta write this down so I don't forget. Stardom 10. Flying Jelly is at the 5. You know what? I can look at the colors here. I totally forgot. So that means release is at the 4 o'clock. And micro macro is going to be at the 11. And I'm sure you guys are stream cheating, but that's okay, I guess. I gave everybody's position if you're listening to my stream. Oh, so micro macro, he's losing his barracks. The Lings are inside of the base. Stardom getting aggressive here, and it looks like he is going to make his way towards this main base here. What does he have to defend? There's no barracks. He's working on the Terran factory here, so if the Vulture can come out, but this could be a really quick death here. Macro Micro is going to be in a lot of trouble. It's going to come down to this SEV here. Maybe he needs a secret alliance. And a Manor Hatchery coming down at the front here. Stardom's playing awesome. Meanwhile, what's going on here? It looks like Flying Jelly is pretty good in his position here with the Protoss play. Meanwhile, our Terran player Release at the 4. He's working his way up here with the mech in and up. And this is going to be in a lot of trouble again. Not properly distributing his SCVs. Micro Macro is going to have to choose to do both at a time if he wants to win this here. Those Zerglings, though, they're going to get defended by this Vulture. Not going to be quite enough here. And actually canceling that Manor Hatchery. Stardom did get a little bit too bold here. And look at that. There's a Zealot inside of his base. The main base is going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's going to have to make sure he keeps his drones alive. He focused a lot of attention on top of that Zealot harass here. Finally, the Lings are coming back. And probably going to be another wall off with this SEV. He is putting the barracks out at front. Meanwhile, a nice wall off here from Release. And then obviously the pylon wall coming up for Flying Jelly. So these two guys, meanwhile, they are neighbors. Maybe they have an alliance here for being so close. But already Stargates off of one base. Are we going to see one base carriers? No, the scouts are coming out. We actually have scouts coming out from Flying Jelly. Craziness, craziness. And now he can come attack. And is there no alliance here? I guess not. The SCVs are going to start taking damage from this scout. Meanwhile, there's still some sort of peace accord coming from these two players. Maybe they did take my advice. These turrets cannot come quicker here. The scouts are laying down the damage. Just one single scout here. But unfortunately, did not kill off too many SCVs. How many kills did he get? 2 kills for all that attention here. And I'm guessing that more scouts are going to be coming out with the weapons upgrade. So he definitely wants to be aggressive here. And the good thing about scouts is they can start taking out these overlords here, which the overlords are going to be pretty much free. The Hydra Den isn't done. How is he going to defend against this? Stardom's going to be in a lot of trouble against just this one single scout that has a total of 28 antimatter missiles. They take matter and they make it anti. That is insane. So this is going to be a lot of trouble here. The evolution chamber coming down. That might be the best bet here is to go for the spore colony defense here. Meanwhile, my command center sitting safe at the top right here. No one has tried to cheat me out of the game, so I can continue my piece of cord cast. And look at this coming along the way. A second scout is coming in. And yeah, you're right. From the chat, Flying is doing really well now, going with his scout build, taking additional Nexus too. The armory is out. Knowing that he needs to get that range upgrade and Goliath to come out. That is expected from Release to go for that Goliath tech. And so now massive amounts of Zerglings. And that's what Stardom's going to do. He's going to try and take out the ground forces here, but smartly defending with these photon cannons. Just way too many Lings. Stardom not making the right choice here. trying to go for a clever opportunity, but it looks like Flying Jelly puts himself in a great position. He is no longer Jelly. He is sticking to everything like peanut butter. I guess Jelly is pretty sticky too. But these scouts are now making their way back, trying to do the rounds between all the bases, but it's still not harassing the Terran opponent at the top left. Maybe that's where the secret alliance is, if there is one at all. We have to figure out who the killer is. This is like the movie Clue. Did the board game come first? I guess the board game Clue came out. There was an original Clue from like the 1950s. No one watched that either. It was the Candlestick. And look at that. A nice gathering of Goliaths here. Release playing so smart, realizing that Goliaths have to make a half moon in order to be the most effective. And with the speed upgrade, I'm pretty sure he must have that by now. The reason to get the fleet beacon is to go for the speed on those scouts. And no!
Orders received. Roger that. Right away, sir.
My SCV!
Right away, sir. Orders received. Right away, sir. Orders received. Right away.
Is he gonna see it? Is he gonna see it? No! No! He missed it! He missed my SCV! Oh, wow. Okay. Great. I managed to keep that alive for now. Must move him further back. Thank you, Release, for being a jerk and trying to take out my SCV. I have 50 minerals. I can remake. It's no problem. There's a pylon out at the front. So how many people can cast in micro SCVs at the same time? Maybe 3 to 4. That's a low number. So this Vulture Goliath army is going to be moving out. This is going to be quite troublesome for the scout force here. Scouts take a while to make, but this could be carriers behind it. It could be. Oh, but he has an opportunity to come in here and start picking off things. Maybe that engineering bay. That'll die off so quickly here. Easy. One-shot SCV kills at this point. With the +1 upgrade, he does do 9 damage towards the ground. And it looks like our Terran player at the top left, Micro Macro, is starting to get himself back into this game. He does have some military forces, but mutas are out for Stardom. He's going to be able to pick off these tanks pretty easily here, but the Goliaths do keep him at bay just for a little bit longer here. And it looks like the expansion coming down is he picked off the SCV, so that's got to be pretty frustrating here, knowing that Micro Macro really wants to take an expansion here. But Release, he still hasn't been bold enough to take an expansion himself. And what happened to the rest of his army? Scouts are getting pushed out again. The Goliaths do have the +1 upgrade, which makes their Hellfire missile pack 24 damage to the air. That's quite awesome. 13 damage towards the ground. It's pretty low. It's like putting 2 Marine guns on your hands and firing them at the same time. You know, how awesome would it be if Marines could get an upgrade to hold a second Gauss rifle? That would make them pretty effective here. A third hatchery is coming down. Still, without the additional expansion and no gas at this second base here, Stardom's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Some nice music in the background, too. So the Mutas and the Hydras are out for Stardom again. Is this going to be a small clash between the brown and the purple? It could be coming up very soon here. Still, looks like Flying Jelly's in a great position here. He could go for a sandwich tactic. An additional base going to be picked up at this 12 o'clock. That's the advantage of scouting really early on BGH. Oh, so many Goliaths going down here, but the Hydralists do a lot of damage. A double attack! A double attack, and he's pushing Release back here from both these players. And in fact, it looks like the scouts kind of chicken out here. What was up with that? Not going after Stardom's army at all here. And Stardom does pull back with his Hydralist force. And a scouting engineering bay is going to realize that this top right is available too. Gotten a little bit intense right there at this time. Alright, dealing with my texting here. It is getting towards that 8 o'clock hour. Might not be able to cast another game after this, unfortunately, but this one is winding up to be a pretty good one. No players taken out early right away here. The scouts are going to get pushed back again, but they do have a lot of health. Look at that. 150 health and 100 armor. That's got to make them pretty good, right? No, not really. If you look at it, scouts are 50 health healthier than photon cannons. How horrible is that? They are the glass cannons of the air. In fact, Corsairs are better than freaking Scouts. Oh, that's the problem with them. Why did they get a buff, Blizzard? What's wrong with you? Now we have builds like the Stove because of this. Just outrageousness. But I think that Micro Macro is going to make his way back into this game. With 3 bases, he can actually turn around his economy and win this pretty easily here. There's a good force out here, but Release is like afraid to make a command center. I think that's the problem here. So many scouts though, but how many star forts does he have? Up to 4. But really, you can't make 4 scouts out of 2 bases. Your economy just doesn't allow so. Stardom's got to take an additional base here. He's getting a lot of Hydralis and Mutas available to him. So he might be the safest of all the players right now with his decent army size. And the amount of hatcheries that he has. He can take this base. Come on, Stardom. Get that natural. Oh, a bunch of idle SCVs though. Macro portion of the Micro Macro name is not in gear right now. Look at that. Sitting SCV right here. How many SCVs are sitting around? This one. Unfortunately here. But, I mean, the thing about this map is that there are 2 extractors to mine from. So it is good that you can get a lot of gas off of that one base. It will put you in a little bit of a better position here. And now pushing out, these Hydralisks are going to take them out very quickly here. The Carapace upgrade is pretty useful. But I'm sure he wants that +1 attack before engaging inside of this Goliath army that should die. He should be able to take this out if he pushes forward here. I think Release will catch himself in a lot of trouble. Stardom pushing forward still. That command center, that Release finally built at his natural does get canceled. He's going to have to rebuild it now. Sigh. Guys, I don't know what to do because I have to go outside for like 5 minutes to go get something from someone who just arrived at my apartment. Where should I put this observing? I'll just sit it right here in the middle. I don't know. We'll put it on Release's army so you guys can watch him try and go for more defense. I'll be right back. I promise, guys. I'm sorry that I have to delay my casting just a little bit here.
Nuclear launch detected. 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 Nuclear launch detected.
What's up, fellas? I'm back. Probably doesn't help. Who won? Let's see here. If there's anybody else available here. It lasted 30 minutes. It looks like Flying Jelly was the winner, based on the resource count here. Not bad. Guys, I was getting some food from my girlfriend, and the gate was locked, and like 17 cars were locked out, and the exit gate to my apartment wasn't working. Fortunately, there was a side gate that I told her about, tricked her in there. So, I am back. Let's see how many people are actually still watching the stream here. We got over 10. 35 viewers? And I wasn't even here? You guys are great. Flying Jelly destroyed. That was awesome. No, that's not the we want the image here. Okay, Stardom. You still around here? Stardom. No, he's not on anymore. Oh. What happened? I'm gonna use someone to host, or are we done for the night? We might be done for the night. You know what I'm gonna have to do, guys? I'm gonna have to make this up to you. I'm thinking, in order to make this up to everybody, that I will have to hold a Community StarCraft Day additionally this week. I'm thinking Saturday or Sunday. Maybe Sunday. That might be the best opportunity for me to do that. Turn the music off. I don't know why. It was extremely loud to me. I did not flee the country. I'm still here. Well, Stardom, let's see if you can host again and I can join. And if anybody else still wants to play. That would be pretty cool. But let me host the. Did you get the BGH, Matt? That Tupac had. Oh, he is already in there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you should get that one from Tupac. Do you have the link? Do you need me to look it up? Huh. There we go. That should be the one where you click it and it like auto downloads. Right. Let's see. Need to add that to my maps. Here we got the maps. Got a shortcut on my desktop. If you guys don't have a shortcut on your desktop, you should. Icy Cup maps added up in there. Now it's added to my pool of maps. Sweet. And I can turn the music back on now. Till we are ready to go. Welcome to you guys to some Community StarCraft Brood War and the Brood War Weekly. This is us getting together and having fun playing some StarCraft. You missed the earlier portion where I cast for about an hour and a half. Boom. Keeping it real. Goodbye, Jelly. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Okay, guys, join back in. Case sensitive. Brood War Weekly if you do want to play. Okay, would anybody else like to play? So do you guys see in the chat, like, do you see in the Battle.net chat when people type in Twitch also? Or is that only for me? Need to recruit someone from chat. Come on. Let's do it. Only for me. Well, that's cool. Thank you, MCA Launcher. Piano, come on, join. Yeah, I know about that. It just delays it because my stream is it's delayed or whatever. So much lag. I don't split probes, that's bullshit. The problem is I can't actually reach my my keyboard with my microphone in the way, so it's like really awkward. I can't actually hit keys. And this lag is ridiculous. Wow, you see that glitch right there? The fuck? That probe finally made it. Wow. I'm just showing you the failures of StarCraft 1. You guys don't know what build this is. You're not familiar with it. No! I made a zealot. That's gotta count for something. Don't ever do the build this way. Trust me.
You've not enough minerals. Upgrade complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Not lost. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Upgrade complete. Instructions commencing.
I suggest never doing that opening. We probably could have won that game. Oh. Oh, never open like that. I did the dumbest thing possible. Alright, guys. That's going to be the conclusion today, but I will promise you a BGH night a little bit later in the week or something. I'll work it out. Yes, don't DT rush. Ever. Like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to show you dudes how to win next time we get back together. But this was great, guys. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna cut these VODs together, and we'll be able to watch it. You guys will be able to catch it on YouTube. Follow me if you want on Twitch on BSuDagger. Brood War Weekly coming back to you next Tuesday, and it will be fun. You will see it on my thread very shortly. I will be putting the new Fun Day Monday and Tuesday theme. Everybody, please participate. I love you all. You are awesome, and thank you so much for watching StarCraft, ignoring my little break at 8 o'clock. But let's dive into it a little bit later, and that will be that. Thank you. I had a lot of fun, and you guys are the best. Brood War community rocks. Good night, and I will see you officially next week on Brood War Weekly this Tuesday coming up. Good night, everybody.